So again, before you check your answers, please make sure that you have these done. Okay, the base stays the same, so 6, and then we add our exponent, so 6 to the 7th. Again, if you're getting any of these wrong, I would go back to the previous movie and watch the rules of exponents again. Okay, this one is power to a power, so I need to multiply so that it'd be negative 12. And technically we learned about negative exponents in the next lesson, but we know we can't leave it negative, so we could also write this as 1 over 3 to the 12th power. Okay, this time our bases are changing, so we multiply our bases, 14, and it's the exponent that stays the same. Okay, and here we're dividing, so we are going to subtract our exponents. Okay, the next lesson we talked about negative exponents, and then anything to the 0 power equals 1. So when I have a negative exponent, you just need to put it on the bottom, and it becomes positive. So you're doing, if you write it over 1, you're just doing the reciprocal. You're flipping these around. If it already is in the bottom, put it on the top, and it becomes positive. And again, you don't need the over 1, so just write it as 3 to the 5th. For the next one, we need to substitute the values for x and y in the equation first, so we're going to rewrite it. So I have negative 4, x is 2, so I'm going to say times 2 to the negative 2. And then it's plus 3, and then y to the 0. Anything to the 0 power is 1, so really I don't even need that, because 3 times 1 is 3, so I'm just going to write it like this. Okay, 2 to the negative 2 is going to be 1 over 2 squared plus 3. When you multiply this, okay, so it's a negative 4 times 1/4. Okay, or you could write it as negative 4 over 4. That's going to be negative 1, and negative 1 plus 3 is 2. So the answer to that one you should have gotten is 2. Okay, this one here is my x to the 0, so I don't need that because that's going to be 1, so I'm going to cross that out. So I have 2 times, this time y is 5 to the negative 2. So 5 to the negative 2 needs to go on the bottom to become positive. And then 5 squared is 25. So your final answer should be 2 over 25. Then we learned about scientific notation. Scientific notation is a number times a power of 10. In the 1/8, we rounded to a single digit. So for all of these, you just need to round it to the first single digit. So I put the decimal after the number that's not a 0. So I have 3.8. So you have to think about, is that closer to 3 or closer to 4? It's closer to 4, so I'm going to put 4. And then it's times 10, and then you have to count how many places it moved over, and that would be 7. Okay, this one, put the decimal, so think about 5.1. Is it closer to 5 or 6? It's closer to 5, so times 10, and this time it's going to be a negative exponent because it's a decimal, and you have to count all the places the decimal moved. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so it's negative 7. Okay, this one, we're trying to find out how much greater the land is area of Connecticut than Rhode Island. So you can see that Connecticut is bigger than Rhode Island. So if you're talking about how many times greater, basically what do we need to multiply this by to get this? So if you were going to, if you kind of took easier numbers, if you think about it, you're going to be dividing these two numbers. So it's basically going to be this over this. So I'm going to use scientific notation since they're talking about that. So this one I'm just going to say is 1 times 10 to the 10th, okay, divided by, this one I would round to 3, 3 times 10, and then this is to the 9th. So if you divide that out, you can see you have one more 10, but it's going to be 1/3 times 10, okay, because you have 10 10s here. So this is how they tie scientific notation into our rules of exponents, because you're dividing, so you subtract the exponents. So that leaves you 1/10. So we have 1/3, and 1/3 of 10 is going to be about 3. If I did that correctly, 1/3 times 10 would be 3. So you would say 3 times greater. All right. And if you basically, if you take, I could do the 2.7. If I do the 2.7 times 3, okay, 8.1. Because I did some rounding. You know, I rounded this up, I rounded this down, but it's getting close. So approximately, this one is approximately 3 times greater than the other one. All right, the next lesson is the same thing, but this time you're going like 2 places after the decimal. So you're going to the hundredths place, which I actually think is just as easy here. So put the decimal in, so it's going to be 8.03. So you just don't cut that off. You leave the 0.03 and then times 10 and then count. It's to the 8th. Okay, this one is going to be 6.8 times 10 to the, and I'm just going to find my paper here, so -9, there we go. This one you should have 1359, so the decimal is here, it needs to move 5. This is 3, so we add 2 zeros. And the last one here, we should have 2.5 times 10 to the -11. So make sure, if you're getting a problem wrong, you know, think about, why am I getting it wrong? Am I getting it wrong? Am I putting the decimal in the wrong spot? Am I getting the wrong exponent? It's fine to make mistakes. We just need to figure out like what the mistake, why you're making the mistake, and so that we understand. So if you're getting like the exponent wrong, then, you know, maybe you're forgetting to count, you know, this 2 when you move over. Maybe you're counting zeros instead. So make sure, you know, if you still don't understand why you're getting it wrong, make sure that you ask. So that should help you get ready for your test. There's also a Google form that you can do to help you get ready for your test. So good luck and congratulations on finishing our first topic.